What is this pocket funding? Now, this is where it becomes important. Say, I'm a person sitting outside India. Take, for instance, George Soros, and I'm naming him. In other cases, I don't normally name people, but George Soros, because he has publicly made a statement that he has allocated $1 billion only to fight rising nationalism. Now, if I, as George Soros, want to stop a particular activity in India, or I want to subvert the democracy in India, I want to stop the rise of nationalist elements in India, I have to give money to them. But if I directly give money, it will come into the radar for two reasons. First thing is I'll get exposed. Second, and the most important thing is, in India, in FCRA, there is a law called FCRA, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, and that prohibits money coming into India for any advocacy and all those kind of activities. Plus, I have to report it. So there are two things. First thing is I have to report it. Second thing is that particular thing, there are restrictive elements, like I cannot use it for religious conversion, for which money is coming into India. I cannot use it for political and other advocacy and propaganda. That is the intention of the government, that if foreign money is coming into India, you use it for the people on the ground, for their welfare, for giving them housing, education, health, and other things. Don't use it to collect 5,000, 10,000, 50,000 people and do a dharna at Jantar Mantar or a Tikri border or Shingu border, or tell the government what kind of laws have to. So these are the factors which have to be taken into consideration when I have to give money. So what I'll do? I'll do two things. First, say I have to give money for a particular cause to a particular NGO, and now government says that I cannot give the money because I'm a foreign source, and the money will be used for activism. They need money over there on the ground. So I will catch hold of the trustee of the organization, NGO, and I'll say, see, I'll give you money. You are going to spend 100 crores on that particular agitation. I'll give you 100 crores. What you have to do is, I'll give you 100 crores as a consultancy fee for your particular thing. So what I'll do is, I'll tell the trustee of that NGO or the office bearers of that NGO that you do one thing. You raise the invoice of, say, 100 crores in my name, and say you are providing me a particular research on a particular issue, or you're giving me some consultancy, and I'll give you the money. So I'll transfer Bakaida by check through the banking channels. Money has come. There is no hawala. Very legal way. Now, when that money comes into India, what will those trustees do? The deal is done. They keep their commission aside. They are given some commission. Balance amount they will donate to their NGO, and that money will come in through the domestic means. So the NGO doesn't need to report it that this money is foreign money. They say, I don't know. This money is given by XYZ Indian person to me for a particular cause, which we are doing. So this is a loophole which is used. This is in explanation 3 to section 21H. This is explanation, and this explanation has helped to create this particular loophole. So this is first way of doing. Second thing is, I transfer money to many small people across the country. So I can give it to 50,000 individuals, very small people. I'll transfer 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, or less than 1 lakh rupees. And I'll tell you the reason why less than 1 lakh rupees. Now, those people are told that you have to give this money to, say, take for instance, XYZ NGO, so that they can show that this is a kind of uh, collection of money from very small individuals who support this particular cause. So instead of showing a foreign funding for a particular cause, or a wholesale funding, I can say that there are five interested parties who are giving money. Because if in case, say, a trustee or somebody who is associated with that particular foreign funder gives money, it can become a, in the age of internet, things can be found and it will come out. So instead of that, give it to multiple people. That is the way to subvert. And you know this is again in violation of law, because, and that is why they use multiple small people, so that government cannot control it. And again, there is a reason for this. There is FCRA rules 2011, in which there is a particular thing, rule 6, which says that if any person has received more than 1 lakh rupees or equivalent thereof from a foreign source, including relatives, they have to inform the government by filing form FC1 within. So when I get money in small pieces, I don't have to report it to the government, point number one. And then I can transfer it. So it becomes a very legitimate and a legal way of transferring money. So they have effectively used the loopholes of Section 3.2 along with Rule 6 of FCRA to violate the law. Now, what does Section 3.2 say? Section 3.2 is very clear: Tomorrow, if in case I am getting money from a foreign source and they say that I am using money for anti-India activities or for advocacy, first thing is I cannot accept that money. If I accept the money, I cannot give it to the NGO for running that particular activity. Point number two. And third, when I know this, I have to report it to the government, Ministry of Home Affairs, that this particular person has approached me, has given me money and asking me to give this money to a particular NGO to run this particular thing, and it has to be reported. All these three provisions of Section 3(2) of the FCRA Act has been violated using Rule 6, loophole within Rule 6. So this is another way of misusing the law or finding loopholes in the law to violate you know the sovereignty of India. And this has to be tightened. There is a need to tighten these provisions extremely strongly so that we don't allow any foreign money come into India through such kind of deceptive means. Now, when you look at other activities, look at Shaheen Bagh protest. Shaheen Bagh, there was so much of money which has come in from various sources. What is happening is, for this, there are laws, but they are not very strongly implemented. And it is not that they are totally not implemented, but it is very difficult for the government. And that is why there is a need for the government to strengthen the law, to strengthen FCRA further, so that these kind of activities, funding for these kind of activities can be blocked. Okay. So activism. Shaheen Bagh, what was it? Shaheen Bagh was only a opposition to CAA. Why should foreign money come into that? But there is money which has come in. That is what is believed, and very actively investigations are happening. That is what I understand. Also, there is a bigger thing, that is misuse of funds. We know the case of Teesta Settlewat. The money was misused. There is another angle. What happens is, in this particular case, there is a problem that many NGOs who have FCRA registration, they don't show all the accounts. There was a particular case of Public Health Foundation of India. Okay, their license was cancelled because of two reasons. First thing is they were doing advocacy, which is not allowed. Second, and the more important thing, is non-filing of returns. And worst, they were only declaring 6 out of 151 bank accounts. Imagine, they had got 43 crores and they had shown only 22 crores. And this is happening. Pehle ek zamane mein, you remember, there was a time that, now of course with Aadhaar linkages of bank accounts and PAN and everything, earlier there were bank accounts which were not reported in income tax returns also. देख लेंगे, अगर income tax में से inquiry आएगी तो देख लेंगे. That was the attitude. That was happening even here. And there are other cases, I don't want to name the people, but there are certain other people also very famous who are facing ED inquiry for the same reasons, that they have underreported, they have got some more than 30 crores, they hardly shown 6 crore rupees. And they have hidden some bank accounts in which they have received money. And this is the reason why government came out with a central FCRA branch of SBI where all the accounts have to be maintained. Till now, what was happening is, you could have an account in Bank of India in Tamil Nadu, and you can have another account in, say, State Bank of India in Kashmir, and you can have an account in Allahabad Bank in Karnataka, and so on and so forth. So there was no centralized control. You can hide 50 accounts and nobody is going to catch you. Whereas here, the scene has now changed. Now they are trying to control how many, you can only get money in one account. So this is a very positive move by the government. Other issue within this is how foreign controlled NGOs are running. So, like, take for instance Amnesty India. Amnesty India is in the business of only activism and advocacy in India. They are not doing any social work in India. And they got 17 crore rupees from their parent organization. Imagine. And worst, it is not an NGO, it is Amnesty International India Private Limited. This is like a Sumeet Mehta's corporate finance advisory firm. Paradigm Advisors Private Limited. हो गया बात खत्म. So you here to do charity or you're here to do business, and they got 17 crore rupees and there is a ED inquiry there, that money has been attached. So what does this mean? What does this show? That there are foreign powers involved in handling the propaganda in India, handling advocacy, running various subversive activities like Amnesty International, everybody knows, and even it is now in public domain that they are soft on Islamic terror. and this has been very much documented, and it has come very in public domain by virtue of the reporting done by the mainstream media. So this is the kind of problem which is prevailing in the world of NGOs, where misuse of money is happening, diversion of funds is happening, money is received for a particular cause and thereafter it is given to someone else. Like take for instance in case of Kudankalam protests. At the same time, there is another issue where money is used, and there are famous lawyers of Supreme Court who have represented PFI in the case of Hadia Love Jihad case. PFI paid the Supreme Court lawyers. Now there is an interesting situation that there is Section 12(4) of the FCRA Act, which allows government to suspend licenses of NGOs or associations which are indulging in activities aimed at conversion. Now, what was Love Jihad case? It was a conversion of a girl, Hindu girl, to Islam. And Love Jihad is again not a thing which is a myth. Kerala High Court itself, in one of its judgment, has discussed about the issue and said that Love Jihad is a fact. So this is how NGOs are using foreign money for activities which are not allowed in violation of Section 12(4) of FCRA Act. And imagine Supreme Court lawyers, very senior counsels, have taken money knowing very well that it is in violation. The end use of money is in violation of FCRA Act itself. Other bigger problem in FCRA is relating to misuse of online platforms. We know the case of Rana Ayub, we know the case of Hemkut Foundation, we know the famous case of Sonu Sood, everybody collecting money from online donation platforms without any accountability, responsibility, and that money is getting misused. Okay, where is the money going? There's no, even these online platforms are just taking their commission and allowing anybody to raise money. We are seeing so much of money being spent in advertisements on social media, be it on Yahoo, be it on Facebook, on YouTube, and everything, so that they can collect money from people. And what is happening? This is the way the law is subverted, and there is a need for this all online platforms to be brought within the purview of FCRA. They have to be giving all the declarations. There has to be a due diligence. At the same time, they should be made responsible for all the collections which happen on the platform, and for doing a proper due diligence of the organizations who are raising money through that particular platform, including the accounting of that particular money and the end use reporting to everyone, not just the people who have donated. This is very important, and I hope government takes a positive stand on this and makes relevant amendments in FCRA Act so that these all kind of online platforms are also brought within the net.